Now that we've got some data to work with, we're going to go ahead and lay out our utility line. Now we created our network and our utility run line B, and now we're going to create the nodes. Now we're not going to actually use the line work. You can see the way this line work came in is it's got two lines that represent each side of the pipe. It's got a bunch of hatching pattern for the storm sanitary or the storm sewer information. So we're gonna use it as a guide, but we're actually just gonna draw instead of converting that line data. I'm also going to turn off my grid just to make this a little easier to see. So I'm going to zoom up here to this line A, which is our first structure here, which is manhole A2, and you can see that we've got a rim elevation here. So we're going to start by creating the first utility node. It's going to come up, it's going to ask us what the utility network is, and then it's going to ask us for a name. So we can call this MHA2, and then you can give it a description and call it, line A manhole, line B tie-in, right, or whatever you want to call it. Then layer is going to be sanitary sewer manholes. That's fine. The type is not a head wall, it's an actual manhole. So then we'll be able to select the manhole from our site improvement, which happens to be the sanitary manhole or storm sewer, or sorry, sanitary sewer structure manhole 48-inch. Okay. It's not existing, it's actually tied to the other line, so we'll leave it as non-existing. Location, we'll go ahead and right click and choose the centroid snap, and I'm going to use the centroid of this object here, and that'll pick the center of that circle. Now the rim elevation we know is this information here, which because it's individual line work we can't just select it, it's just the way that it was converted. So we're going to have to type in 861.92, and then the invert elevation we'll get from down below. So line B invert in is 855.2, so 855.2, and we'll click apply, and that's going to drop in that first structure. You can see there's a cyan circle representing that structure. Okay. Probably to make our lives a little easier too, we'll go back over here. Let's go ahead and pick this and hide that so we get rid of that information. Now what we'll do is we'll come down here to the next structure, which happens to be B1. So we're going to go ahead and change this to B1. Oops. Let's go ahead and make this B1, and we'll just call it line B. Everything will stay the same. Location, we'll right click centroid of this structure here. Probably could run project cleanup to do some delete duplicates as well, right? So but we'll just work with it. So we'll come over here to B1 and we'll go 870.40 and invert in. Looks like we've got an invert in and an invert out. So our invert in, it's actually going that direction. So if we take a look, right, our out is 855 or 858.70, and our 858 is our in. So it's actually coming in from B2. So we're going to make the invert elevation the out value. All right, so 858 in this case, so it'll be 858.70, and we'll apply that structure. Then we'll just keep working our way down. We'll go to the next one, which is B2. You can see it automatically increments. So our location is going to be the centroid of this. Our elevation for the rim is 872.00, and the invert, which is our out, is 864.75. 864.75. Okay, we'll apply that one. I'm just going to repeat this all the way down. So I'm not going to create a video for the whole thing, but I'll go ahead and put the rest of these in, and when I get to the end, we'll then create the pipes. So if we take a look at one of the things we want to take a look at is manhole number 4 or B4 here. You can see that we have an in and an in and an out, right? So we're just going to put, for the invert of that structure, we're just going to put the out. All right, so we'll tie in these other lines, so line E, and then the other pipes, we'll put those in after the fact. It'll associate those inverts for those particular pipes. All right, so we'll continue putting the rest of these structures in. So now I've worked my way through the end, putting in the last structure, manhole B8. So put in the rim elevation, and then the invert out is going to be 909.87. And we'll click apply. All right, so those are the structures. We can take a look at a 3D view and see that we've got a bunch of structures laid out. You can see that the sizes based on the rim and the invert have been adjusted. And now what we need to do is go ahead and put in our, we'll connect this with our pipes. All right, we'll show you that next.